Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here on a bright Wednesday. It is June 16th, 2021. Oh my gosh, we're almost halfway through the year. Let's see here. James says, good morning, JR. 84 Fahrenheit and cloudy here in the low country. Man, I want me some shrimp and grits, James. I know that's what the low country has. Man, they got great shrimp and grits. We tried to get shrimp and grits in San Diego, and it was a fiasco. It was terrible. Let's see what we got going on here for weather. Guys, if you're new to my channel, if you're new to my live streams, do me a favor and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live. And James, you know what? I've got exactly the same thing. I've got some fog and it's 84 degrees here, so it's very similar. And thank you for letting me know you can hear me. I do appreciate that. Sometimes we have little audio glitches where somebody can't hear me, but if James is cool with us, then we're good. We're good, okay? Like if he's cool, everything's fine. And today we're going to talk about SEO, guys. If you don't know about SEO, it's pretty important stuff. I'll define what it is. I'll also give you about 6 steps you can use to really improve your SEO. This is probably, gosh, one of the best things you can do long-term for your business. If you get your SEO squared away, you're going to be in really, really good shape. So I can promise you that. And if you have any other questions about starting, running, and growing online businesses, feel free to put that in the chat section. Matter of fact, put stuff in the chat section. Say hello. Let me know what the weather's like, whatever it is, what business you're running, what you're trying to work on. I want to help you out, and the only way I can do that is if you reach out to me. Just listening, sometimes it doesn't want to work for you, right? I was waiting to see if you were going to mention the like button. You got me every time. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, guys. Click that like button there. James always reminds me, I guess he's my producer or co-producer here, but he always reminds me of this stuff. You got to hit that like button. Super important that you do that. I guess it's an algorithm thing with YouTube. You know, the more people click that like button, the better off I am. So yeah, I appreciate that. Don't forget to click that like button. So let me get going here. Let's talk about SEO. First off, let's talk about what the heck it is. SEO is an interesting thing. It does take some skills, but anybody can learn this. It's not that hard. It's not a really cut and dried subject. When you first start out at it, it can seem like it's overwhelming because you go, oh gosh, SEO, that's what I have to do for my pages, and I've got thousands of them. Well, you don't have to do every single page. You can do your most, visited pages, or the pages that you want to be visited. So what it really is that SEO is search engine optimization. It allows the search engines to be able to find your pages. That's all it really is. So before you become a pro, everybody starts off not knowing what to do. And I just kind of want to go through all the steps first off. You got to kind of understand the goal of SEO. Businesses have different marketing goals, but every company shares the same desire to boost revenue, okay? We all want to make more money. Improving your site with SEO allows you to rank at the top of the search engine results page. That's called SERPs, SERPs. So that helps your revenue and your traffic. Before that completely sinks in, okay, before you think about that, you have to grasp the inner workings of search engines. Google and other leading search engines have what's called spiders or bots, okay? And what they do is they kind of crawl the internet, they find, they index, they rank sites. When somebody enters a search engines actually deliver a list of websites to you, on the results page, right? And that's got all the relevant content that they think that you're looking for. Search engines first need to be able to find your site though, so that you should be the first in order of business. You can ask Google to index your URL with their URL inspection tool and Bing with their Bing Webmaster tools. There's a lot of them out there. Google has Webmaster SEO Starter Guide. WebFX has an SEO Explain how to search optimization works. There's a guy out there called Matt Cutts, How Search Engine Works video. So you can take a look at that. So that's first off, getting your head wrapped around what it is first. Okay, that's the important thing. Next up, number 2, you've got to master keyword research. It takes research to pick the keywords that you want to rank for. So you got to figure out what those words are. You can't just grab them out of the sky. I know when I first started doing SEO, it was like, I don't know, survival food, and it wasn't really that cut and dry. And now I finally figured out, canned meat survival food is what I rank for because that's what we sell. Also known as keywords. If you select keywords that people frequently search and that fits your business, you can get your site in front of a bigger audience. And that's the key. If we get our site, in front of the right audience and they're coming to our site, they're going to buy from us. Let me get a little sip here, my little saying for the day. There we go. Now, let's talk about keywords for a second. There's two kinds of keywords. There's long tail keywords that span 3 or more keywords, and there's short tail keywords that hold only 1 or 2 keywords. Now, long tail keywords focus your pages and generate better interest. Okay, so that's what I would go after. If you try to focus on 1 or 2 words, it's going to be really hard to compete. It's probably not even going to happen. For example, if somebody searches where to buy magazines, okay, it's more precise than magazines, right? So you can appeal to their expectations better, and you'll get a better click-through rate too with these long tail keywords. So how do you know the top searches that relate to your industry? You can use keyword tools like Keywords Everywhere, Solve, Keywords FX as you learn SEO. You can use all those tools to kind of figure it out, and those will help you. And let me put some of these in the comments section because when I'm saying it, it may not be coming out everywhere. So we're going to use Keywords Everywhere. You can search that one. You can also search, and I'm going to have to type this one here in instead of saying it because I know it's not going to pick it up. So you can use that one right there. You can use Keywords FX. Yep. Those are the ones I would suggest you using. They can help you out tremendously when doing your keyword research. You can also get a glimpse of the keywords with these tools of your competitors. So you can look at the competitors that are coming up high in the search engine ranks, put their website in, and you can see what they're doing. Keywords are really central elements for SEO because you'll weave them into your content, titles, meta descriptions, and the URLs. And it'll get you familiar with keyword research as a foundational step in your keyword journey. Okay. Now, other, resources. WebFX has something called Beginner's Guide for Keyword Research for SEO. So let me put this in here. WebFX. It didn't do what I want. WebFX. There it is. And they have something called a Guide to Keyword Research for SEO. My spell check is changing everything I'm saying here. There we go. Guide to Keyword Research for SEO. There we go. I'll put that in the chat section there. Moz. Let me put Moz in here. Moz. Let me see. There's another good one. And they have keywords and keyword research. And that's another good tool. So use some of those when you're starting out. Now, number 3, know the difference between on-page and off-page SEO. These are 2 different things. SEO happens in 2 different places. I want you to wrap your head around this. On-page and off-page. What takes place on-page is what you can directly change when you learn SEO. While that takes place, off-page is up to other sites. So you got to get them to do something. And you can get them to do things. It's not surprising that on-page SEO is easier topic to cover and understand because you manage multiple parts of your pages to please visitors and search engine bots. So that part's a little bit easier. On-page SEO involves formatting like, your H1, H2 tags, and that's your heading 1 and heading 2 tags that has to do with the size, okay? Also, your keyword usage, navigation, URLs, meta descriptions, and image descriptions or alt text. Sometimes you'll see it as alt text, where it actually describes what an image is. But it goes far beyond this, a handful of factors too, which takes a lot of careful work. For off-page SEO, you have to rely on others' opinions of your online content. So, obviously, you want to have good online content. Authoritative links to your site, mentions about your brand, and social media marketing all contribute to your off-page presence. And put in the comments there, guys, have you done any SEO? Are you doing any SEO? Do you understand SEO? Check off the boxes on both fronts for vital use of SEO. It's super important, okay? I told you about WebFX earlier. They have a free on-page SEO checklist you can go to. Also, Ahrefs. Let me put this in here. Href. There we go. I'm going to put that in there. Ahrefs. They have an actionable on-page SEO guide. And then Neil Patel is really good. Let me put him in here. Neil Patel. Check him out. He has let's see here. Has off-page SEO guide. He keeps wanting to put SEO. Why? I don't know. That's a good one too. I would suggest that. Number 4. Learn to identify UX signals. What's UX? What is UX? If you know, you can put it in the chat section there. UX is simply user experience, okay? So search engines aim to satisfy people with the right results. So your user experience plays a substantial role in SEO. Modifications to your site should prioritize users, making the design, functionality, and material fulfill their expectations. Algorithms like Google's RankBrain analyze user behavior to measure their level of satisfaction and performance. So you want to look at all those things. Perry Marshall, James Breen, yes. Perry Marshall is very good at what he does. I do recommend Perry Marshall. He's been around for years and years and years. Yes, he knows his stuff. I do recommend him. So you know your stuff, James. You really do. You got to have a website, man. You got to apply this stuff, buddy. You know a lot of this. Through machine learning, there's now a closer look at pattern practice of users. The percentage of searchers who click on a search engine result or the organic click-through rate, which is your CTR, is one area of user experience that Google checks. It helps to show the relevance and attractiveness of a result compared to others. Other UX signal dwell time, which is how long they're there, which is how long somebody actually stays on a page before returning to the SERP or search engine results page, is also recognized by search engines. It can influence your SEO performance too. So depending on the type of search query, a longer dwell time can demonstrate their interest in your result or show that they have trouble finding a clear answer. The keyword and material can indicate which response is more accurate. So, let me get another sip. These metrics, guys, reflect the condition of your SEO as you make tweaks and you seek to optimize. Now, you want to pay attention to the UX or user experience signals during your SEO education to evaluate your rankings. HubSpot, let me put them in here. HubSpot. Okay, they have a what's called a simplified guide to RankBrain. So that's something you want to check out. Also, WordStream. Let me put this in here. WordStream. There's so many tools out there. WordStream. They have one called Battle Tested Ways to Raise Your SEO CTR. SEO CTR. So you want to check that out. Lucy, what's going on, Lucy? Lucy's jumped into the mix there. Good to see you. I don't know what JS is. But okay, so that's your number 4, guys. In number 5, embrace SEO friendly content creation. So when you're creating your content, you want to make it SEO friendly. The content you craft for your site, including blogs, informational articles, news releases, videos, whatever you're doing, is the prime way to charm your searchers and search engines. Okay, so skillfully creating this content can draw in traffic from Google if you follow SEO best practices. The one thing I'm going to add is don't try to cheat the system. Too many people try to cheat the system, and you don't want to do that. Written content is a convenient method for search engine crawlers because they're proficient at sifting through text. They're looking for a balance of keywords, comprehensive information, and a digestible layout. It is essential to learn that SEO friendly content correlates with length. So longer posts, for example, have a better chance of assisting searchers in their hunt for knowledge or products. Content needs to address the chosen topic thoroughly, and Google looks for polished articles rather than sloppy churned out posts. So there's these article spinners or generators. You never want to use them. They're garbage. Okay, you can tell when a spinner wrote an article, and these things were big, like 2010 or 11. I don't know if there's many out there now, but they actually will hurt your site. So don't go for any programs that are going to pre-write your stuff. I even saw ads the other day for AI that was going to pre-write your sales copy. I don't see it, guys. I just don't. It always comes out sounding funky, so don't use it. So search engines also require fresh, original content, and they will penalize results that only duplicate or copy words from other sites. That's called duplicate content. Don't do it. During the process, to learn SEO, beware of these penalties, because let's say in the beginning you're doing this SEO and you're starting to put duplicate content and all these things on your site, you're doing it wrong. That's actually going to hurt your site in the long run. And even if you start doing it right, you've still got that bad content up there, so you don't want to do that. Search Engine Journal has one called Tactics to Create Engaging and SEO Friendly Content. You may want to check that out. WebFX, which I talked about earlier, has one called How to Write SEO Content That Users Love. You may want to check that out. All those things are really important. Let me get another sip here real quick, guys. And before I get to number 6, I am going to be doing my videos today, the recorded ones that we upload. So I'm not going to try to go too long. So if you have any questions, it'd be a good idea to put them in now. And if you're watching this and it's not live, that's cool too. You can put it in the comments section. I'll come back and answer your questions and comments there. So feel free to do that. Yeah, I've got a full day of recording videos today. My wife had to leave early this morning. Our dog's got some problem with her ear, and she's been whining and scratching at her ear for a couple days since we've been back from the East Coast. So she's over there with her today. So when she gets back, she can help me film and do my stuff. And I actually had to shave and do my hair and all that stuff today because I'm doing actual content today. Paul, you woke up, Paul, on content. Is shorter or longer better? I'm seeing more long sales pages as of late. That, I get that question over and over again, and there's not a quick answer to that. I've got sales pages or opt-in pages that are very short, that say like 1 or 2 headlines and click to get access. I've got pages that drone on and on and on that you have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. The only thing I would tell you, if we're referring to SEO, is be cautious on shorter content of keyword stuffing. That's where you're going to get tripped up. If you have a page that doesn't have a lot of content on it, you really can't do a lot of SEO on it. You can't put that many keywords. You can't over put keywords in there, because if you do, you're going to get caught in the keyword stuffing thing, and Google has an algorithm for that, and you're actually going to lose your ranking. So I would say if you have a lot of keywords you want to put into an article, it's going to have to be long, or a sales page, it's going to have to be long. You can't do it on short pages, but there is no cut and dry answer to what you're saying. I think the design of the page. Like if it's an opt-in page where they just opting in for something free, I would say short content's better. Okay, if you're trying to sell something that sells for $2,000, I would say you're going to need a lot of content. Okay, it's going to need to have a lot of detail to it. It's going to need to answer every single question on there. You're going to need a whole bunch of different areas where they can opt in. So I would say that's my overview of those two things. That's what I look at. Number six, you need to start this early. Start link building. In the collection of 200 plus ranking factors for Google, links still remain one of the top 3. Links from other websites to your pages indicate to search engines how trusted and useful your site is to users across the web. Okay, so building links is super important. However, search engines can be extremely strict when it comes to questionable link building tactics. Okay, there's black hat and there's white hat. White hat link building means you're earning the admiration of other industry authorities, trusted reviews, the general public, that type of thing. You can construct a beneficial reputation by strengthening your network and boosting brand awareness. Natural links can also come from guest blogging and requesting links to existing mentions. So all those things are important. Engaging in social media is an effective way to encourage people to read, share, and talk about your site. The proactive approach often leads to link building when customers discuss your business with other people, their friends and family and all that, and they share this stuff. So that's important. James Breen says, Jim Edwards says he reduced his website from 26 pages to a single page and sales quadrupled. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing. I know a lot of sites do that. Some sites cannot. Let's say you're an e-commerce site. You really can't reduce it down to one page, obviously. We have an e-commerce site, which is Survivalcave food, and that's got to have pages for every single product. I mean, it just does. Now, jrfisher.com, that doesn't have that many pages. Okay, I've pretty much got a blog there, and I've got some of my courses there, stuff like that. It doesn't need a lot of pages. So the size of your site really has to do with what your industry is too. Okay, if you're just trying to get people to opt in for a webinar and that's the only thing you're marketing, yeah, your one page is great. You can do that. Does adding multiple links in a sales letter affect sales engines or search engines? It only would if you overdid it. Okay, in other words, you didn't have enough copy to support all those links. So if you've only got one page of copy and you got like 9 links in there, yeah, you could have an issue. But if you've got 20 pages and you got 9 links, no big deal. You're going to be okay. Let's see. Do you do much guest blogging? 100% no. I don't, Paul. I'm asked to do that stuff, and I'm asked to do sponsorships. I got a email from Nike the other day, and they wanted me to do a sponsored video. I think it was a 30-second spot for $1,500. And I said no, because it doesn't even match up to my business. But as far as guest blogging, that would just take time, and I'm not a blogger, so I wouldn't do it. I just don't have the time for it. Not that that's not a good thing. If you're starting out and you are trying to build your brand and you've got a lot of time to do that stuff, hey, more power to you. Go ahead and do it. But as far as you actually going out and doing blogging for other sites, you got to have a lot of time to do that. I don't have the time to do it, so it's out of my realm to do that stuff. Let me switch over here real quick, guys. My throat is still clearing out as it does every morning. It's always tough first thing in the morning. But the good thing is, when I do one of these lives before I record my videos, I kind of clear my throat out before I start recording my videos, because I have the same problem recording the videos. And a lot of you guys will, man, his throat's rough in the morning. Well, you jump out of bed in the morning and you try to start talking a lot, and you're going to find out your throat does the same thing. My wife's does the same thing. It's like it takes a while for your voice to get going. Do you still do much blogging? And if so, what do you find for a sweet spot for distribution? I do more vlogging. I'll put it that way. What we do is we put videos on YouTube. We upload them 3 days a week. And those links in those videos also go onto my website. So that's primarily what I do. I myself do not do a lot of blogging anymore. We've got our business built up enough I've got a good name recognition enough now. Not that we shouldn't. I'm not saying that. As a matter of fact, as I'm hearing myself talk today, I'm thinking, hey, there's some things I could do on the site to help it. I'm redoing Survivalcave food, and I've almost got that completed. So we'll have that live soon. And just did some minor tweaks. Basically, we're upgrading to the new Magento 2 point whatever it is for thousands of dollars, and there will be no difference. I don't know why, but we just kind of have to do that stuff. So we're doing that. What other questions you guys got before I get out of here? Like I said, I need to record videos today, so unfortunately I can't stay too late. But if you got any questions, Paul always has good ones. James always has good ones. We had a lady in here a couple minutes ago. I don't know what happened to Lucy Hill, but she was here for a split second or two. And also, don't forget, guys, do subscribe, do ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications, because even if you subscribe, it won't let you know when I upload a video. It won't let you know when I go live. You have to turn on bell notifications, and you have to select the one that says all notifications. If you don't do that, you won't know when I go live. Okay, it won't tell you, so you have to have that set up. In addition to that, thumbs up, as James would remind me. Thumbs up. Give me a like for the video. Likes matter a whole lot too. That helps me out a whole bunch. So I think that's what I got for you guys today. Even if you're not watching this live, you can put comments in the comment section. I'll come back and answer those for you guys. I really do appreciate your watching, taking time out of your day. Your time is extremely valuable to me. And since it is so valuable, if you have any questions afterwards, you may get off this call and say, hey, there's a couple of things now I've got questions about now that I've researched this. You can always come back to me. You can always type those in, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. James Breen, peace and blessings always, everyone. See y'all tomorrow. So James is going ahead and go. He knows when I'm winding down. He can tell when I'm winding down. So guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you here. I really do. I appreciate your support. After this video is already on and it's not live anymore, you'll find links in the description to many of the things I do, many of my courses, that type of thing. On a separate note, do you feed the raw to the cats too? Here's the deal with the cats, Paul. We have elderly cats. Okay, so Jessica has had some cats since before I knew her, and they're all 12, 13 years old on up. And they're extremely finicky. So some will eat some of the raw, and we try it as much as we possibly can. And for you guys who don't know, my wife is a dog trainer and animal rescue person and knows all about animals. And we feed our dog a raw food diet. And some of the cats, Paul, they just won't eat it. So we have to, unfortunately, give them some of the canned stuff. We hate doing it, but it's either that or they just won't eat. A cat will actually starve itself to death. And since she, for years fed them the wrong diet before she studied all this stuff, she kind of trained their palates. So I guess I would say start them as a kitten. She just did a video, I think, on raw foods, so you may want to check that out on her channel. That is Jessica L. Fisher, the Furry Family Coach. Have a great week ahead, gang. Good luck on packing for the move. Paul, don't even bring up packing. Don't even bring it up. It's a nightmare. It looks horrible in here. And we have people coming to look at this house that we have to show it, and oh my gosh, it's tough walking around boxes, I can tell you that. But it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.